How we doing? Welcome to August's J&J Photo Art Marketing Cafe. I see a stranger on there. Her name is Jessica. She's been on vacation.
Hey everyone. Happy to be back.
Happy to be back. Happy to have you back. So today I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items before we get right into the 10 tips for art sales, which I think you'll find interesting. Is You'll definitely have a takeaway on this one. Um, if you haven't done so already, grab a piece of paper, pencil, pen, or have your computer ready to go so you can take some notes as we go. I don't have any visuals for you today, just a good discussion. So just a few housekeeping items on the Photo Art Pavilion member area in your business panel. What we've done is we've gotten the blog area ready and ready for use. So if you are a part of the Photo Art Pavilion website, which we hope all of you are, we'd like you to, at some point today, go in and play around with the blog post. The blog area is what's going to create some stickiness for your personal page on the Photo Art Pavilion website. We've cleaned up a lot of the things that you guys wanted that helps hold your art buyers and your art collectors to you and your art. So the blog is another way of expanding your story of who you are and what you do. And we're going to talk about that a little bit in some of the tips that we go over. The other housekeeping I wanted to mention is that we do have an open call going on right now for a virtual exhibit. The theme is Home Sweet Home. And if you need information about that, shoot us an email. Jess, if you could just type our email address in the chat area. Most of you already have it, but would love to see you participate in the open call. The virtual ones, especially because we do post those, and we do the virtual reception for everybody across the country. It's not just locally in our local market. So if you have an opportunity to get involved in that, go for it. And last but not least, this is more localized, but we do have two workshops coming up. One is a one-day trip out to Shelter Island, to the Mishomic Preserve. We have a private access. We'll be out there for one full day. If anybody's interested in that, you could find the workshops at the bottom of the website. Also, we have a 3-day workshop up at Letchworth, New York, upstate New York, which would be more fall foliage, and also waterfalls, and a lot of landscape, waterscape type of work. So if you have an opportunity to jump in on any of those, that would be great. We'd love to have you involved in all that we do. All right, so let me just jump in. We're going to be discussing today the 10 tips for art sales. So take a breath. I know sales, are in everybody's heart. Everybody wants the sales of their art, but you have to, of course, put some steps behind the process. It doesn't just happen automatically. Sometimes it does, but very often you have to put a little bit of effort behind. So the business of art really comes down to the main core component, which is sales, right? Over the course of this past year, Jessica and we've passed along some great information to help you self-promote and sell your art. But there's one central fact that you must embed into your art business that most artists miss, and that is you. You are the best voice for your art. So I'm going to repeat that. It's a big statement. You are the best voice for your art. All right. So keep that in the back of your mind as we go through all of these. So let's jump in. Tip number one. Tip number one is messaging. All right. So your primary message should command a bit of authority. What do I mean by that? Well, you must know a thing or two about A, photography as art, as an art medium, and B, how or why you created the work you're presenting. It's not like you have a uniform like a firefighter or a doctor that carries an element of authority, right? Your art should and does speak for itself, but you should be able to speak about the art medium of photography and what makes you the authority in photography. So being confident and knowledgeable about your work speaks volumes. You don't have to be shy about telling potential buyers about any awards or recognition that your work has received or that you have received. You have to let your messaging give potential buyers something to be proud of as they are selecting their art to hang on their walls, and they want to share your message with their friends. Their friends, when your artwork is hanging on their walls, their friends are potential new buyers for you. So don't be afraid to command that authority and tell those stories. If you have testimonials, share them. I try to include at least one testimonial in any of my newsletters that go out. I haven't really put my testimonials into social media practice yet, but I might get there. Um, I like to also discuss drama or challenge behind certain works that helps dazzle the art buyer when they look at the piece. I have a particular piece that I love. It's when I took a hike through the Narrows in Zion National Park, and when I show that piece to a collector, I go over the what I felt walking through that water, almost waist high at some points with my camera just to go get the shot. And it was just a thrill for me to be taking that type of a hike and then to come away with artwork that someone would hang on their wall. So show them the drama, tell them the drama, put the passion behind the art piece. Get to know your buyer. People love to talk about themselves when you ask them any questions at all. So their story may parallel with one of your art pieces. All right. So think about that and ask for the sale with a compelling reason as to why. Why now is the time to buy that, to have that sale? Because listen, at this point in time, now maybe the time cost of materials are rising. The piece no longer be available. Some of you do have limited edition artwork out there that may be one of 10 pieces or one of 50. If you're running towards the end of a series of artwork, uh, that may be a compelling reason to tell that art buyer now's the time to make the buy. So just think about that. So when it comes down to tip number one, messaging, you have to be the voice behind your art. Okay. Let's move on to tip number two, which is visualization. I really love this one. After all, we are all visual artists. So images of your art on the walls of public spaces, homes, offices creates an impact to a potential buyer, right? So anytime your work is in a gallery, make sure you take an image of it on the walls. Anytime your artwork sells, make sure you take an image of the artwork hanging in a buyer's space. And if you're having trouble with the first two suggestions, look at an augmented reality software for your phone or your computer. I use a service called Canvy, CANVY.com, and that plops my artwork into finished rooms. And it's a really great tool. That's one of the to-dos that our dev team is working on. We have two items to finish up for you guys. One is putting the augmented reality software on the website next to all of the images that are for sale so that a potential art buyer can have your artwork sitting there, click on an image of a blank wall with a sofa and have your artwork go over that sofa. So until that comes to be for us here at Photo Art Pavilion, try services like Canvy, put your artwork over furniture, put it in a kitchen, a dining room, an office space, and use that in your social media practice, and also use it when you're working with trying to bring buyers in to hook them to come on in. Okay. All right. Tip number three. Tip number three is zoom in. Zoom in. So the online art sales is still a very good way to reach a larger audience. The local galleries are great. Don't get me wrong, but the foot traffic is quite small compared to the large audience of an online presence. So when you're talking to potential art buyers, make sure you accentuate the details of your work. Zoom in. Use that mouse hover or that zoom feature. It becomes essential because they can then see the detail of your artwork, and they could really get the feel for your expertise of what it is that you're offering for sale. If you're doing a live self-promotion video, make sure that you show the art piece hanging on the wall and then zoom in to the detail of the piece from the front to the back. Like I have this piece back here. This is on metal. Now, if I were to be showing this to an art buyer, I would take it off the wall. I would show them the back of it. I would show them the depth of the metal, how thin it is. There's other ways of you to really accentuate. So zooming in, giving those features that an art buyer may not be able to really put into their mentally visualize on their own. You could do that with video and also with some other elements of your photographers. Take photographs, put them into your marketing pieces. You'll be able to get a little bit more enthusiasm for the type of art. Not everybody knows what a metal art print on metal is, or an acrylic. They understand matted and framed, but the other stuff, they have questions. So try to accentuate that in your marketing. Okay. Tip number 4: announce as sold. So most photographers are using social media, direct email marketing. A great way to catch the eye of a potential buyer is to periodically feature a piece that has sold. This shows that your work has value. Now, if you happen to have a slow stream of art sales, uh, I think it's okay. I do it. I'll go back and I'll accentuate something, or I'll announce something that may have sold last year. I can say this was last year's bestseller or last month's bestseller, uh, just to reiterate the fact to your buying audience that you do sell your work. A lot of us run into the trap of people coming up to us and saying, "Wow, I love your work. I love your work." But they don't know that your work is for sale. So make sure you ask for that sale, and then also announce when you have sales that you've already had. I think that really adds the tip number 1, the authority factor. Okay. Tip number 5: go above and beyond. So you have to somehow, in your own way, everybody has their own style, make your art buyer's experience special. Somehow build loyalty from the beginning. If you can hand deliver art, do it. If you can be there when the art is being installed, be there. Follow up with your art buyers with a handwritten thank you note or an email. Add a discount or some other kind of perk that brings them back to you. That's going above and beyond. When you keep your art buyers in the loop of what is happening with you and what things are new in your art career and your art business, they are a little bit more engaged. And one of the things that we've uncovered over the course since like 2007, since we've been in the gallery business and the art sales business, art buyers will come back to a particular artist more than once, typically 3 times. So if you have an art sale, an art buyer from the past, make sure you put them in the loop of everything that you're doing. Make sure they're engaged in your social media, your email lists, and anything else that you're doing. Direct mail pieces, if you're doing that, go for it. I think it's a great idea to go above and beyond to keep them, make them feel special, make them feel special. Okay, so tip number 6: your resume or your artist statement, or new to Photo Art Pavilion, your blog. Okay, these are areas where you can really accentuate who you are, what it is that you do, what your experience is, any specific photography designations that you have. I'm a little self-conscious about my artist statement. I review it pretty often and I update it pretty often. Sometimes it's a simple thing as adding a comma somewhere to make the story flow. Whatever's new with my career or whatever's new with my credentials, I like to update my artist statement. And I call it my resume, but in our business, it's the artist statement. When's the last time you did that for yourself? I think it's something that you ought to do on a regular basis. You will be surprised if you were to touch your resume, your artist statement once every 30 days. You will call back into your memory things that you've done in your photography career that may interest those art buyers that are looking at you. So get those credentials into that statement. And now that we have the blog feature, boy, you could tell a lot of stories within the your business center and storefront with Photo Art Pavilion. So take a look at yourself, be humble, and get your information out for people to enjoy and to really learn who you are. All right, tip number 7: Q&A. So art buyers typically don't know the process of what happens to their art from the moment that they make the purchase to the moment that it's hanging on the wall. So you can you can send them a printed document, which if you're working through Photo Art Pavilion, we take care of that. We send the art buyer steps along the way of, thank you for the purchase, and then we go into your art has been is in production, your art is being shipped. We go through all of that. I think one of the things that we'd like to add to the Photo Art Pavilion site, which we're going to try and take advantage of our own tips, right? But putting a information there for the art buyers of what's the turnaround time when the art piece is purchased, the printing, how is it done, where is it done, the shipping, the installation of the art, any other information that we can provide to that art buyer that makes their purchasing experience easy, comfortable, and that they feel confident that they're dealing with somebody that's professional, and that's very important. So when you spell these things out for them, that they'll trust you, and they're more likely to make that purchase. So I think that's a really good tip, and something that I think Photo Art Pavilion, we're learning too. So we're gonna bring that into our platform as well. Tip number 8: show your art. Show your art with an online sales platform, with online exhibits, with physical gallery exhibits. Okay, the online space is inexpensive, and it's unlimited in the amount of work that you can display as compared to the cost of physical production and displaying your work in a gallery. I think both platforms are great, but make sure that you get the online part right first. The online sales platform is global, and it's easy to share with anyone, anywhere. A physical gallery is typically shining a spotlight on select pieces, to a select audience. So what I think that this tip is really opening up is to budget yourself for the online first, get that set up, make sure that that's great, and then look for other ways of exhibiting your art, whether it be in a physical gallery, whether it be in other exhibits, online exhibits, physical exhibits, open calls, this type of thing. That's how you show your art. And when you keep getting involved, and remain involved in doing so, that gives you more and more and more to discuss with your audience. So if you're working with Photo Art Pavilion and you have the online sales platform, anytime you upload something new, that's an opportunity to reach out to your audience and say, new in my store. Okay. If you have an online exhibit, that's an opportunity to say, come join me for the virtual reception. If you have art pieces in a physical gallery, that's a great opportunity to try and bring the foot traffic to that gallery. The gallery owner will definitely love you for it too. So show your art. It's very important. If no one sees it, no one's going to make that buy. Tip number 9: know your customer. I know we've discussed this in the past. I believe we discussed it in length. You have to know your audience. This streamlines your marketing efforts immensely. You look over your art buyers every quarter. I do. I look over my art buyers. Are they male? Are they female? What is their age? Are they purchasing for their home or office? What genre of art are they looking at? Are they looking at landscapes, waterscapes? What medium are they buying? And then once I have this type of information and I can kind of package it up, then I know when I'm out there marketing and advertising, either social media, direct mail, drop off cards, whatever, I know who my audience is, and I go after that, utilizing that information that I have from history. If you don't have an art history, a sales history of your art, take some educated guesses. Walk around, as we've talked in the past, like go into doctors' offices, go into restaurants, see what's on the walls. What are they gravitating towards? What type of art are they gravitating towards? What type of medium are they gravitating towards? Okay, so this is a good way to kind of keep yourself in the know your customer. It's very important. And the last tip that I have for you guys today is ask for the sale. So you've built a rapport, your potential buyer is still engaged, you have to ask for the sale. It may not happen right on the spot, and it often does not, but if you've shared a comfortable dialogue and you feel that you both understand one another, the sale will definitely come. Make sure you get their name, their phone number, their email address, and continue to follow up with anybody that bumps into you that says, I like your art. I think your art is beautiful. Wow, you do great photography. Get them on your list, stay engaged with them because many sales don't happen right on the spot. But after the initial meeting, you'll have the opportunity to kind of follow up and stay connected. And then if you go over these 10 tips that I just laid out for you, you're going to find ways, different ways, perhaps 10 different ways to interact with them over a course of, let's say, 3 months or 6 months that eventually will bring them around to making the buy. So I look at these 10 tips as uh, something that you could easily put into your practice, into your art business practice today, and go back to what I said at the very, very beginning. You are the best voice for your art. We've got a gorgeous platform in Photo Art Pavilion. We want you to bring your buyers to your storefront. We're trying to make your storefront as sticky as possible. All your social media links are there. Your email links are there. Now we have a blog section where you could tell as many stories as you want about any particular art piece with hot links that can bring them right over to the that area of the website to make a buy, to get a better look, to zoom in. And I just really feel that you're the voice for your art. So don't be shy, don't be silent. Get out there and talk about it because there are buyers out there and they're interested in hearing your story. All right. So I really love this topic. It was something I had a really great time kind of formulating, writing it for you. And I am happy to open up the floor to some Q&A. See, we've got some in there. So let me scroll back down.
Joanne, I just want to jump in.
Sure.
I love your 10 tips for sales and keeping art buyers engaged with your art and your beauty. But yeah, like you first said, it all comes down to you. Most people gravitate to the artist and then the art itself. They want to know more about you. They want to know more about your stories, any kind of struggles, any kind of experiences you can share within that scene, that moment, whatever it is that you're sharing as far as your artwork. Get personal. That's people connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
Art is going to be the secondary part to it that they really gravitate to for their home, their space, whatever it is. But yeah, that was great. Thank you, Joanne, so much
Yeah.
for putting all that
Yeah, you're
together.
welcome. I see a couple questions in
Yes.
here, and folks, you could just jump in and I see Michael Connor. I would like to know where to find the Q&A post sale info. It's not on the website, and as I mentioned, Mike, it's something that Jessica and I, will definitely get on the website because as I was going over creating the 10 tips for all of you, I went back to our website and I saw that we were missing that element at Photo Art Pavilion. So we're definitely going to create a section for the art buyer so that they have the information on what happens from the moment they make the buy to the moment it goes on their wall. We want them to know that they can expect an email from the artist, which is a great thing. Sending an email, a thank you email to the art buyer that comes from the artist, and then you're able to engage with them, going forward, I think is fantastic. So we definitely want to get that on the website, Mike. I appreciate you asking. And then Sharon says, what do you do when a buyer wants it signed? Well, we sign it, right? We've talked about this in the past with pieces coming through the website. We don't offer that. All right. So a lot of the prints that are purchased on the website, people buy the prints, either they have them shipped direct to them and they custom frame them on their own, or they custom frame through us or have them on canvas or whatever. When someone has an art piece that they want signed, they will contact us and we will do our very best to facilitate that. Sometimes that means we have to provide an upcharge to the customer, and we will send the art piece directly to the artist. The artist can sign it and send it back. All of those costs would be in the upcharge that the customer would pay for.
Can I jump in here a second?
Who is
Do
this?
that digitally. They can sign it,
I know.
scan it, and put it on there. You can't really tell the difference.
We're not in the practice of doing that because we had this whole watermark discussion a couple of episodes ago. Some of you have really nice, simple watermarks and signatures, and some of you have these big logos and this of this nature. Um, we leave it off because we have to come to the point with Photo Art Pavilion. We have come to the point where it's an open series art sales platform. It's not limited edition art sales platform.
Right. I
Um,
understand completely. Some people's handwriting is a nightmare.
yeah, and sometimes it gunks up the piece. All right. So, when we have artists, I mean, buyers that want that, we communicate with them. It's not like, oh, sorry, no, we can't help you. Of course not. We want to make the sale. We want to make the sale for all of us, right? So we do entertain that. We do work with the art buyer, but I think most of them understand. In fact, we have the majority. I would say 99.9% of the buyers that come through our website. They're not looking for that. They're not looking for the limited edition. They're looking for an art piece for their wall or for like the hospitals or some other corporate space. And that's not the most important thing to them. They want just great art and they want quality product.
Why wouldn't someone just go on to Fine Art America as opposed to your platform if that's the approach you're going to take?
They can shop wherever they want. We hope they shop with us. We're personal. If you go on Fine Art America, you can buy art there. I'm sure you could buy art, many different variations of art on Fine Art America.
Yeah.
It's not personal. Jessica and I are the owners of Photo Art Pavilion. We're front and center. We're available by email, by phone, and we're here to service the customers, photographers, and buyers. So if someone were to call Fine Art America and have that digital stamp on their art piece, so be it.
Joanne, are you guys run, excuse me, you ladies run a Long Island Photo Gallery also?
We
Run-
do. We do.
I see. So I've exhibited in your gallery.
Thank you.
One of your infamous call for entry.
Thank you.
And John Ellsworth is a friend, so you'll know who I am.
I know, John.
Yeah. Okay, what was I going to ask you? um, is it physical observation at art shows and so forth? I think is going by the wayside. People need online platforms, but they also seem to go. The problem that I just turned down exhibition at a fall show because I didn't want to invest the 1,500 to 1,800 bucks in materials to exhibit physically in front of people at a mass petri dish, which is what it'll be in November. It's irrespective of the mask. People are going to get sick from that.
All right. Well, let me just go back and go back. I think it was tip number one of them. We talked about like having the ability to show your art, right? So from our experience, we've been in the physical gallery business since 2007. We've been in the online business since 2012. We had an overlap of both businesses, both ways of displaying art. We found initially the physical sales were physical gallery sales were overshadowing the online sales, and then COVID hit, and the online sales were overshadowing the physical gallery sales. So going back to tip number 8, show your art. I believe it's very important to have an online presence. It's inexpensive, and there are a lot of tools and features there that you can utilize to engage your audience from anywhere in the world. Okay, the physical gallery exhibits I think are great. The in-person sales definitely are there. But again, you have to look at the expense that goes along with doing so. Some artists are okay with doing that, others are not. So everyone has their own budget. Maybe your budget for the year for art displays might be $1,000. So what I would do, me personally, if my budget were $1,000 for a year to exhibit, I would work my online platform first. put that expense on the board, and then from that I have X amount of dollars remaining. So in our case with Photo Art Pavilion, it's $380 a year for the online platform, which is unlimited in its scope of what you can put up on the website, and it's curated. The remaining money that I would have available for my annual budget would be, in this case, roughly $600. Then I would be very choosy on A, which open calls I would apply for, and B, which exhibits I would want to display in. So I think it's all a personal choice, Steve, of how you go about showing your art and what you feel comfortable doing.
Hmm.
I agree with you that the physical spaces are still a little tentative, but we're doing both. We're doing physical receptions, in exhibit spaces around our local market, and we're also doing the online virtual exhibits to give you guys the opportunity to continue to show your work and have stuff to talk about. It's no fun to have a beautiful art portfolio sitting inside of a computer and no one gets to see it, and you have no story that you could tell that goes behind it.
I saw and I'm first of all, let me apologize for not attending these before because you've done
It's
a
okay.
terrific job here.
It's
Fantastic job,
okay. We
actually.
always have room.
Well, you did something that I saw that I wanted to contact you personally about it, but maybe you can enhance my question, which is there was a question put up there. It may be a great photo, but why doesn't it sell? You want to, can you run back through that, your logic on that at this
I
point?
I don't know if we posted that, but let me try to address it. Okay. It may be a great photo, but why doesn't it sell? First of all, who have you shown it to? Question
Good point.
one. uh, the funny thing is, the other day, I went, I'm going to say about 2 weeks ago, I started going over because we're putting workshops on the board. So I started looking at old workshops that we've done from Shenandoah all the way up the East Coast. And I said, I don't have any of these images on my Photo Art Pavilion site. So I started reposting and re-editing and enjoying my own artwork from a great workshop that we did down in Charleston, South Carolina. So I got some of those images up online. So I would say, and then when I posted it, folks are like, oh, wow, isn't that gorgeous? Did you just get back from there? I'm like, no, that's like 4 years ago. So if it's sitting in your computer, why doesn't it sell? Because it's sitting in your computer. The other thing is to go over those 10 tips that I just said to you, tips for selling your art. You have to be engaged. You're the best voice for it. It's one thing to say, I'm on Photo Art Pavilion, I'm on this platform. That's all well and good. I'm on the platform too, but if I don't send any of my audience to my storefront, they're not going to see my work. They may stumble upon it, but my job as a photographer, as an art photographer on Photo Art Pavilion, is to direct my audience to my storefront and then to tell my story to my audience. So I think that answers the question.
Well, actually, no. Um,
Okay.
you addressed what this meeting is about, but you didn't address the reality of abstractions, landscapes, portraits, locations, Nile River, places that I have up on my own website that are portfolios of work.
Okay.
And I try to keep my input onto this as I try to keep the number of images from a given portfolio down to literally less than 20 and hopefully 12,
Okay.
16 to 12. The
So
idea is less is more. Your best work should be up there. What's your,
absolutely. That's why we curate the website.
oh, you actually curate a
We
website.
curate every image that goes on Photo Art Pavilion. Every one.
Okay.
Everyone. So maybe Steve, what you and I ought to do after this meeting is over is I can do a demo of the website for you and show you what we do.
Perfect.
Because I think I think we have a great platform. I know we have a great platform. I know it's beautiful, and it's easy for the photographers to utilize. Again, trying to answer your question, why doesn't art sell? There's 1,000 different reasons. Could be mispriced. Again, go over those 10 tips I gave you. Did you put your authority behind your photography? Did you tell your audience everything awesome about yourself and why they want to have your art on their wall? There's a lot of things that go into it. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay. And there are some genres that sell better than others. I agree. We don't sell portrait work. We sell art pieces. Okay. So there's a lot of reasons. I'm going to open the floor to another question. Okay. Would that be all right, Steve?
It's fine. I could use up the entire time.
Oh, well, I think we're already over. So let's
So
go
go
from
ahead.
there. All right. So Sharon, again, no. Any progress on the artist seeing any analytics like views of the storefront in particular image? I have some stuff. It's hiccupy. We are 30 days away from finishing up with a search engine optimization company that we've worked with 3 months in a row. We're building out a lot of elements behind the scenes of the website that will help address a lot of that analytical stuff. I guess what I could do, Sharon, is I could send you some stuff, but understanding that it's not going to be complete. But I do understand, I know you've asked the question at every meeting.
I guess really my purpose is, so if I'm posting on Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever, and I'm somehow posting a photo and some people react positively and so on and so forth, visit my storefront, it'd be interesting to me just to know, and I'm sure everybody else, did anybody even click to my site? Did anybody even click the link and look at that photo on the storefront or look at my storefront? I just think it would be helpful to kind of see, is it generating any kind of reaction whatsoever? So it's not like, I need the minutia necessarily, although it would be nice. Like this one lives in India and that one lives in France. Of course, that would be fun to know. But just, does it even have any impact on the viewing of it?
Right. I definitely understand your question. I have one question back to you. When you post your images that are from Photo Art Pavilion on, let's say, social media or however else you do, are you putting the link specifically to that one image or to your whole storefront?
Usually my storefront.
Try to put it direct to the image. So if you, let's say, I know you just uploaded some really gorgeous street art, street photography. Go to where that image resides on Photo Art Pavilion and hit the share button underneath it. There's a Facebook button and an Instagram, and grab that link. And that's way when you post that announcement of that art piece, if someone's going to click, they're going to click that picture and they're going to come right back to that picture, as opposed to your whole storefront where they have to go search to try and find it. Okay.
Well, that link, when I do that, so I'm on an image, I click, let's say, the Facebook link. I don't know if you have a LinkedIn link. I can't remember.
Do you have, have everything.
Everything but Instagram, because that's
Instagram is
too wonky. Yeah. Okay, so let's just say LinkedIn, hypothetically, right? So I click on, I'm on my image. I click on the Facebook link. Does that then post that image to Facebook, or does it allow me to make like a LinkedIn post and have my image there that will be live, so to speak, that you can click on it? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want it to
exactly what you're saying. And yes, the answer is yes. So if you utilize the buttons underneath your art on Photo Art Pavilion, it takes the image, it takes the link, it takes all the description.
Great.
It creates the post for you. All you have to do is add a little bit of some hashtagging or some other elements to it.
Right.
And it posts directly, let's say, on your LinkedIn or on your Facebook, or it doesn't automatically go to Instagram. That's just Instagram. That's not
right. No, I know, that's nuts. Okay.
So you could do Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all those buttons work.
Right. Okay.
And then it'll create the post. And when the post is created, what the viewer sees is the image, the description, and what's the first thing that we all do when we see an image in social media? We go to click on it, right? When you click on it, it jumps you the person right back to the website where the image is available for sale. So it's a great tool that I don't know if you guys just
Can I do the same thing with the storefront as a whole?
yes, yes. Share my storefront. It's right on your business page. Share
Right,
my
so on the
whole-
business page, there's those same links, and the same
Yeah.
thing would happen. So if I just wanted to promote myself and I have this like body of
Right,
work
right.
versus an individual image, I
Right.
could do that.
If you write,
Okay.
right, again, now you have the blog feature. So you could go write a story about that that street photography shot that you posted. Put the story behind it.
That reminds me, the blog feature, is that something where I could, everyone could promote as a posting to social media saying, read today's blog, my posted just today, my blog, read my new blog, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And that'll take them to, and there's a link so that they can then go read my blog. But while they're reading my blog, they'll be
Right.
on the site so they could purchase after or while they're reading.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
the other
correct? Am I
feature,
understanding that correctly?
yeah. So you could do social media posts about your blog. Here's my recent blog post. Send the link right over to the blog post while they're reading it within the blog as well. You can have hot links. So I was testing it out the other day. I wrote some kind of blog. I don't even know what I wrote, I'll be honest with you. And I had embedded in my blog hot links over to specific images that I was discussing in my blog.
So you can do that as well. Are
Yeah.
you editing? I mean, I know you curate the photos, so to speak. You look at them carefully and all that. Is there any editing that you're doing for the blog?
No, meaning, meaning like editing your words, your
Not my words, but you're like, this person is just, it's not appropriate in some way. It doesn't make sense. It's a horrible writer. I don't know.
well, here's the thing. I'm going to say no, but we're not getting that deep. We kind of feel you guys are all adults, right? And
Well, no, I don't mean anything like insane, like it's not like a political platform, but I mean, I'm just saying if it just seems like, I don't know what somebody might say that just doesn't seem right for your business model in some way or something.
Well, you got to think of it this hand too. It's your business you're representing, your art storefront.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the goal is to talk about your art, your experiences behind the art. It's all about, it's an extra tool to be able to market you and your body of art. So you can utilize the blog to talk about your experiences, maybe pull together a collection of a recent trip you went to that you have shown on Photo Art Pavilion in your storefront. There's ways to talk about maybe what's upcoming. So perhaps you're going to be displayed in a exhibit, either online or in person, and you want to share those details. Have that central station, that central go-to area, utilize the blog, talk about what's happening now, what happened in the past that you loved. And this is your way to communicate in a further ability, and something that's a little bit more sticky than social media. You got to think social media is a matter of seconds. Something goes posted, it's, every platform has a matter of seconds as to how long it's live for. Goes into someone's feed and then it disappears. The blog is sticky, if that helps. It's not kind of going away in a matter of seconds. That has a longer lifespan than social media posts. However, those social media posts help direct the traffic to your blog posts. It's just
right. And the blog can be circled. The blog can be general about the collection that you have on the site overall, and or to a particular image,
right?
Like talking about a particular image.
Blog could be one paragraph, 3 sentences, could be anything. It's just.
Well, that was my next question. Is there like a word limit, like a paragraph, a sentence?
No. But understand people are not going to be on the internet, reading. So if you have again, I'm going to have to go look at what I wrote, but I think I might have done like 2 or 3 paragraphs, and it's again just another way of
Okay.
bringing folks over to my storefront, give them something else to learn and about me, about my art, and more reasons to poke around. And now that we have a couple of those features fixed, like the next button and a few other things that you guys were asking for, I think it really, having folks come over to your storefront is become a really, really powerful place to bring your art buyers. So I would definitely do that. I'm going to go on to a couple more questions here, so then we could wrap it up. Dawn Riley, I find on Facebook all my traffic coming from Eastern countries.
All right, so that I would have to ask, are you looking to do ads? Like, how are you just making random Facebook posts? Do you have, if you're doing an ad, then you're able to direct who and where is seeing your posts. So that just leaves me
I'm
with
looking at the analytics on my Facebook photography. It's just the photography portion. And, without paying for boosting and stuff, which I would do, for something specific, when I do specific posts about, this show coming up and this, and then they do give you some analytics.
Mhm.
And it's just very interestingly, like I'll have like the 10 that's my family. I know that those are the 10 people that looked, and then everybody else, it's all Eastern European, Asia. And that is just, I think, a fact of Facebook. And I would be curious too to see with the Photo Wall Pavilion, other ways of being able to direct the traffic. I know with those other countries, they're, and then I'm getting random messaging, for people that are looking at marketing and stuff like that. So it's not, and I'm finding on Facebook, it's just not going in the direction.
Well, if you're just doing standard posts on Facebook, then you're just it is what it is with Facebook. It's you've entered into that algorithm that is showing those people your content. I don't know how or why. But if you were to do a boosted post or an actual ad, you're able to specify down to a town, a county, a state, or just across the U.S. And you're able to redirect your the eyeballs that are going to see your work.
So you to boost it, to actually pay for the boost is
you
worth
can do as little
budgeting
like
the money for
$5,
that.
just something, and to see what happens. Again, I don't know what might have triggered you entering into that algorithm where only, primarily the like Eastern countries are seeing you. But, maybe check hashtags. Facebook does utilize hashtags, not as much as Instagram, but, perhaps that helps if you just do like US art or hashtag like, American artist or something. I don't know. Just see if that helps at all. And you can run your tests too, do one post with hashtags, one post without, and see if you're able to see a difference between the two. But otherwise, I would say maybe do a boosted post and just see what happens. It might help redirect you out of that funk of an algorithm.
Yeah.
Or you could always try getting Facebook on the phone and just say, hey, why did you put me in this box when I belong in this box?
Right.
So that's something to look into.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good answer. I like that.
All right.
Next, Steve, how much social engagement does it take to motivate buyers? Depends on your buyers. Sometimes a lot, sometimes a little. Depends on the art piece. Social media, I find, is something that you just have to stay with. So find the platforms that you enjoy and get involved. With us at Photo Art Pavilion, we're on all the platforms because we have a large audience of photographers that we represent. We like to get all of your information and your art out to as many people as possible. But if you're limited on time and scope, pick a platform that you love and get into it, learn about it, go on to YouTube, educate yourself a little bit. We're trying to educate you a lot, but of course we're going to miss a little bit. And again, going back to tip number 1 or my initial comments, you are the best voice for your art. So it's hard for me to answer how much social engagement to motivate a buyer. I think you have to connect. You have to find a way to connect. You have to know who you're talking to, and you have to come off authoritative in a nice way so that the buyers feel comfortable with you. Okay. Next question, Laura.
I do see this. So Rich was saying that the Facebook share button isn't quite working. And you know what? I actually seen on another platform that we use, the Facebook integration is going through some changes right now, and it's causing a little bit of hiccups across the board. So that will be resolved. But yes, that's
Interesting. And thank you, Laura, for the compliment. We are providing excellent tools. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, we each month, Jessica and I, we say, well, what do we want to talk about next month? And we come up with a topic, and then we have to put our heads down and deliver. And it's a nice challenge for us. And as I said, every time, I think I said this in the last meeting, every time we do these meetings, we write the meetings, or we come to this next subject that we want to discuss with you, we're learning as well. So it's a great collaboration, and we enjoy doing it for you. And again, if there are any topics out there that you want us to cover, we'll go out and do some homework for you. We'll be happy to do it. It's all good. All right. Let's see.
So it looks like that's it. We're good.
All right. And
Can I just clarify one quick thing that you said?
Hi, Tony.
Yeah, sorry, I know we're like done, but I just want to clarify one thing you said before about signing, and I want, not a big discussion. The reason I ask about if people want signatures is because I always get the sense that people who will buy my art, firstly and foremost, will be like friends, and they'll be like, oh, that's my friend, and they want the signature. Okay, I just want to clarify. If they want something signed, I can say that I can work with you to get the artwork back to me so I can sign it before it goes to them.
Absolutely.
Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We never want to turn a buyer away. Never.
Right, but I'm just saying, I just want to clarify, that would be the process. Yes, go ahead, buy it online. I'm working with the platform. I will work with them to get the piece so I can sign it and deliver it to you.
That's
right.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And especially if they're friends and they're local to you.
Right.
This goes back to one of the elements we talked about, like
right.
Get involved, go above and beyond, right? So we can have the art piece printed and sent directly to you. You could sign it and deliver it.
Right, hand deliver it, or even package it differently and with a lovely note or something.
So, there's a lot of ways that we can absolutely be of assistance.
Right, that's why I was a little obsessing over like how to do that, because I know that people,
it's all good,
that I know personally would like to be able to say, oh, I know this person, she's a great friend, a great photographer, whatever. Though they already love me enough to then help promote it further.
I have other photographers' art pieces in my place as well. It's great. It's great to have art that you fall in love with and that you actually make the buy, and your friends should be buying your art.
I know. I got to get them in person where they can't say no to my face.
Well, you're right. And to answer Tony's question, no.
Really?
Wait, what's the question?
The question is, can you start over again?
No. You catch the recording.
Steve, we could definitely, I'll send you a link, Steve. If you direct message me your email, make sure I have it. If you think we have it, then that's fine too. I'll find you in our email list, but I will definitely schedule a meeting. Either myself or Jessica will schedule a meeting with you to go over any additional questions you have, and the platform as well. So we're running out of time, only because we always say 30 minutes and we always go over. And I have a call I have to take at 1 o'clock. So it's really awesome talking to you guys and gals.
Thank you.
You inspire us. It's great.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And keep the questions coming.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.